So let me be very clear. If I've offended you, Tua, if I've hurt you, if I've disrespected you, if anybody that supports and loves you feels some sort of way because of what I said, I truly apologize. I had two priorities when I started this job. Number one, respect the players and the executives and the coaches that make this game run. Number two, it was earn the respect of those very same people, and more importantly, keep it. Anything contrary to that, then I gotta check myself. Now, don't get me wrong, my ego was involved. When Tua was asked about how he felt about these comments, and he said, keep my name out your mouth, yeah, my first thought is, or what? Or he says he's scrappy, I think to myself, man, I fed my family on violence. I ain't tripping on that.
What's up, everybody? It's your man, Stephen A. Smith here. It's a rough day. Rough day, to say the least. Working at ESPN. We all know the news right now. No need to delay the obvious. My man Ryan Clark for ESPN is gone. He was let go by ESPN yesterday. There's a lot of noise circulating throughout social media and beyond about how he found out. He was on the air doing NFL Live when he was notified, and various reports out there were saying that, ESPN was concerned as a result of knowing that the information had leaked, that he would find out while he was on the air from somebody else, so they wanted to make sure he heard from them or whatever. I don't know all those details. And to be quite honest with you, I don't care. What I care about is that my brother, Ryan Clark, a person that I consider to be arguably the best NFL analyst in America, is no longer a member of ESPN. And I can't even tell y'all how much that hurts.
As far as Ryan Clark, that's the one we're going to talk about, not the Cam Newton, but of course he's been fired as well. Both of these guys going to land right back on their feet. They both got their own podcast that they own and doing very well. But the controversy really is just how Ryan Clark was let go. Live on the air. NFL Live, while he was working, found out about this. Then you sit and ask yourself, was that necessary? Couldn't they call this man before he started work? Or could they wait after his shift was done? And I'm going to speak in 9 to 5 terms. Because me personally, I've witnessed things like this before. I've witnessed a guy on a job at the company I was working for at the time, there for 25 years. Came in one Friday, on a good Friday, or a big Friday, maybe a freaky Friday. It was his last day. They gave him his walking papers on a Friday. No 2-week notice. No, do you want to finish out the week? No, today is your last day. Sign these papers, figure it out, and this is going to be it. So I've seen this happen before. And it seems to happen too often. It's just funny how a job wants you to put in a 2-week notice before you quit or let them know you found another job and you're moving on. They want that 2-week notice. But you're not going to get that 2-week notice when they fire you, when they let you go. You know that day. What sense does that make? They want you to be loyal to your terms, but on their terms, they can just pull the plug anytime they get ready. Just like this situation. Don't matter how big and bad you are, how valuable you may think you are to a company, showing up to work early, not missing any days, being all you can be at that job, still won't save you. I've been a victim to that as well throughout my career, no doubt about it. Yeah, more than one job, doing everything you're supposed to do. But because you may not dress like everybody else, you might look a certain way, your performance might draw an eye on somebody else, or just simply you just look too good at what you're doing. They'll want to get you out of there. But putting all your eggs in one basket can cost you dearly. So unfortunate for Ryan Clark, unfortunate for Cam Newton, but these guys gonna land on their feet. They had their side hustles. They got their backup job. They're just gonna move on. But most won't be able. Some people have to go to work for other companies. Some people don't have their own things going on. Some people have to make their ends meet by working for somebody. Nothing wrong with that. We all do it. But if you have an opportunity to leverage yourself, find other options to where you're in control, you dictate what's going to happen, I advise you to do so. To not allow things like this to happen. Now, do I like Ryan Clark? I don't have nothing against Ryan Clark. I think he is talented. He do sports, NFL and things like that. Of course, mostly NFL. Don't really touch basketball too much. But NFL, talking football, yeah, I do like a lot of his takes. Now, do he race bait a lot? That can be argued. I think he does. I don't agree with everything Ryan Clark says. Sometimes he does talk out of his mouth. But don't we all? You talk enough, sometimes you're going to slide something in there somebody might not like. And he done that plenty of time. A lot of apologies throughout his career tenure at ESPN. Over a decade, they say? Oh, yeah. If you ask me, it ran its course. Ryan Clark is not bothered by this. When you get fired or let go, yeah, you have the initial shock. But in the next 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, man, you done shook that off already. You know, you got to move on. There's something else you got to do. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep it moving. And he has something that he can land on. Got his own Pivot podcast. He's going to be just fine. And you have to remember, publicize, he had that negotiation going on about his contract, which he was standing 10 toes down on that. So that'll let you know the man was willing to walk away if you didn't meet his terms. Then, so this just happened a little later. You know what I'm saying? He was prepared then to walk away if those terms weren't met. So no, you ain't got to worry about Ryan Clark or Cam Newton. They're going to be fine. Let's go into this article a little bit before we get out of here. Clark was making more than $2 million per year, while he was slated to be a large part of Super Bowl coverage next year when the network is set to broadcast the event for the first time. There had also been talk internally since February that he might not return. ESPN executives soured on Clark because of his issues with some of his choices, a dynamic that peaked with an on and off air incident in the past season involving colleague Peter Schrager. Yep, it was a build-up. It was a build-up, but I'm going to tell you this. Still could have been squeaky clean. That's just something they can use. That's all that is. That man could have been squeaky clean and make none of these outrageous or whatever you want to call it comments and still got the plug pulled on him. That's just the way it goes. This is just something they can use and put up there. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all think he was done wrong or y'all wanted him out? Y'all been wanting Clark out. He really don't have any good points. He's a race baiter. You didn't like him to begin with. You're glad he's gone. Or you believe the man's been done wrong. He needed more time. Maybe a 2 weeks notice. Like most employees give their employer that same grace. Do you believe he's one of the best? Like Stephen A. Smith crowned him. JSQS, Goodymo Sports Quick Hits. I'm up out of here. Peace.